Hey guys, KHCloud here with my Honeymoon review for Doctor Who Season 10. Now there's a bit of a difference with this Honeymoon review. I was going to watch the first two episodes, but there are two reasons why I haven't. The first reason is because, well, technical issues. I've been having issues getting it to play. I have it on DVR, but it's not playing for some reason. So I haven't been able to watch it. But the reason why I haven't just, stopped right there and just gone like, well, I'll do this Honeymoon review later, is for the second reason. And the second reason is because the first episode does a fantastic job of introducing you to the world of Doctor Who. Now, the intro is kind of weird to me. I didn't like the bit about Chips with the new companion. I don't like the new companion that much. Probably my least favorite since Donna. There is one thing that I really liked in regards to the companion, and that's that the Doctor picks her because she doesn't seem put off by unknown things. It gives you a big hint into the Doctor's character, and it also gives you an idea of her character and why the Doctor has picked her. But overall, her character at points seems kind of like... It's supposed to be a quirky thing, kind of like Donna, where her character kind of just clashes with the Doctor in a few cases. But in reality, it comes across more, rather than quirkiness, it comes across as her being kind of slow and stupid. And I don't think the character is supposed to be portrayed that way. But the way that she's written in the first episode, she kind of seems a bit dull. I hope that changes throughout the season, too. I mean, the Doctor Who series are about 13 episodes, but there have been times like... Clara, for the first two series that she was in, was not particularly interesting either. It wasn't until the last series, but also the writing improved significantly then, so... I do like, there's like a little cup, like a mug in the Doctor's office full of sonic screwdrivers. I love that because I actually have something kind of similar. Not a mug, but I have like, those, I think they're Pirouettes or something like that. They're little like, Pepperidge Farm cookies, but they're like long cookies. Weird, hard to describe. But anywho, they come in like these metallic tins. I have a bunch of screwdrivers in the metallic tin because I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. I kind of like that. I thought it was kind of cool. They have a lecture at the very beginning. The lecture does a great job of explaining time to people who are just getting into Doctor Who. It explains the way that Doctor Who treats time as a series. And it's kind of done in a more contemporary way. It cuts between the companion and this love interest that she encounters at a bar, and the Doctor delivering his lecture, and it's very obvious that it's kind of out of sync and nothing's kind of lined up, but that's again to kind of show you the way the series treats time. The series definitely seems to have developed a new style. I kind of like it a little bit. It'll be interesting to see kind of how long it's around, though, because they're bringing in this new style, but they have a new showrunner in a year anyways. So not entirely sure, if this style will last that long, because the last time they had a new showrunner, they completely changed style. It just seems like, I guess the way that I can't really describe the style because I'm not that much of a, I'm not like a film student, so I can't really describe the style that well. But it came across as much more contemporary than what they've been doing for the past 5 years. 7 years, actually, for the past 7 years. It's past 5 series, but 7 years. They have a nice, good starter mystery, which is this, puddle that if you stare in it, there's something off about the reflection. Bill, the companion, she kind of picks up on that right away, and she's like, well, there's something weird about this. And her love interest picked it up, a while ago, because her love interest has... Well, I'll get into that more, actually, later on, because I don't want to, spoil it right now. I'll leave that mystery for later. But anywho, this idea of this puddle that you can kind of peer into and something's off about it, it's a really nice, good starter Doctor Who mystery. Or it was. But then they show the other angle from inside the puddle, where this, alien voice is, passenger engaged. I didn't like that at all. I like my mysteries in sci-fi to be left unsolved for as long as possible. Now, obviously in Doctor Who, you have to solve the mystery at some point, and usually within the episode. But I prefer that to stay until the end of the episode, because by doing that, they kind of revealed that it wasn't really, a good thing. It was more of a sinister thing. Sort of. At least they revealed that there would be some sinister intent. Another thing that makes this, though, a good starter episode is that it's a horror story. And most Doctor Who stories end up being horror stories, especially the best Doctor Who stories. The resolution to the whole story kind of reveals that the horror aspect of it is actually more of a love aspect of it. And it shows the way that Doctor Who treats mysteries and treats, aliens and stuff, as in other species aren't sinister. There's no species designed to really be sinister. Although there is a species designed to be sinister in Doctor Who, but that's beside the point. Most of the things that you encounter are not sinister, they're misunderstood. And that's a really, fantastic aspect of Doctor Who, and I love that they start this series off with that. So people coming in for the first time are going to get that right away. They're going to get, oh, okay, so, don't always expect things to be sinister all the way. They can have, a different intent. They could just be living their life. There's another episode, I can't remember if it's Series 8 or Series 9, but it's one of my favorite episodes of New Doctor Who because it involves Peter Capaldi kind of going off and discovering new life. He's found an area for life to be. He's found an ecology that's missing something, which means something has to be there or should be there. And so he goes to look for it. And I love that episode so much. I don't want to ruin too much kind of what's going on in that episode. I think it's Series 8, now that I remember, because I remember the one of the characters featured in it who is gone after Series 8. So it's Series 8, I believe it's episode 4? Might be 5? I think it's 4. It's definitely the first great episode of Peter Capaldi's run. I also like the way that the Doctor explains the TARDIS in this episode. It kind of functions as a little bit of a cheat notes in Doctor Who history, and I love that kind of stuff. There's also something that goes on that's really, really nice. This is going to evolve spoiling the episode a bit. Oh yeah, so the reason that Bill's love interest can tell that something's off by the puddle is because she has a star in one of her eyes. And so what the puddle does is, it's not a reflection. What it is it's something in the puddle is mimicking you. And so by mimicking you, it's not going to, it's not going to look the same as a mirror. It's really weird. It was a really bad explanation, but it makes complete sense. In context of the story, it totally makes sense. So after the whole thing, the Doctor, for some reason, and it's probably one of the big mysteries of the season, although maybe it's not, sometimes it's just because of the way the previous companion went, and I can kind of understand that in this case. But the Doctor doesn't want any humans to really know that he's on Earth. So he goes to wipe Bill's memory, and Bill starts freaking out, and, because she kind of catches on, which is nice that they showed that she's not as stupid as I, kind of perceived her to be based on some of her other actions. She is smart. She's able to figure out stuff. But she makes a comment about, how would you feel if someone wiped your memory? And I love that. It's a hint to some of the past stuff that's happened in Doctor Who. And it's great. It's just a great little teaser. So yeah, overall, I would say that this episode does a fantastic job of introducing you to the Doctor Who series, better than I thought that they were going to do, because sometimes in the past they haven't been that great at introducing you to the Doctor Who series. This is probably the best one since Series 5. I don't like the introduction necessarily in Series 1. In fact, really, despite the fact that I love Eccleston as the Doctor, and I love his Doctor completely, it's one of my favorites, his run in Series 1... it's not until episode 5 or 6 that you really get heavily involved into the more thought-provoking elements of Doctor Who, and this luckily kind of puts you into that right away. I think it's great. It's probably, of the new series, it's probably the best one to show people, to introduce them, Doctor Who, because it has just enough weird, just enough of the thought-provoking kind of different view on sci-fi, and it gives you a good kind of fish out of water for Bill. It's just something that you can kind of balance off of to learn all this new stuff about Doctor Who. They even go through the Daleks in this one, which is nice. So it kind of is a whole recap of the whole series. It's the best introduction to Doctor Who since Series 5. This would probably be the one that I'll now be showing people in the future to introduce them to Doctor Who, because I think it does a fantastic job. Yeah, overall, obviously it's Doctor Who, so I'm hooked. I think you'll get hooked if you watch this and you're any fan of sci-fi. Except for this one. Peace.